Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 15 of Glitter on My Tips. This is the podcast specifically all about drag, but specifically more about the professional leadership and business side of drag. Yes, ma'am, I am your host this evening, Miss Trixie Valentine, and that is spelled Trixy. Like, why you not be knowing how to spell my name now? I'm super excited for the person we are going to have a delicious, savory conversation with this evening. She is about 5'8". She is very feminine and also masculine, but specifically the upper lip. She do like only Cool Ranch Doritos. And she is my best Judy, who I've known her for about 8, 9, maybe almost 10 years now. Give it up for the one, the only, the icon, the sensation, the fabulous Ariana Autumn.
You got me there with the upper lip line, bitch. I see you. I see you. You thought I was going to just say nothing about that and let that slide because you thought I was going to be all professional like your other host. No, girls. No. I see you. This ain't a masculine thing about you. Talking about my upper lip. And I'm aware that I'm saying all this with dolls behind me, but whatever. You move on with it.
Well, you better stop. I absolutely love you. No. Okay. Let's get real.
Sorry, I'm doing too much.
Because this whole episode, they're not ready for it. Like, they don't understand. When we're together and talking, we are here together and talking.
I'll try to keep it on the rails.
Yeah, well, we probably won't. Yeah. No, before we begin, I always like to go over a tip, but before we do that, tell them who you are, because they already know, but you need to let them know. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Hi, my name is Ariana Autumn. I am 26. I'm a Scorpio. I like long walks on the beach, big dick, and fried chicken. I'm just kidding. I am a former hairstylist because for those of you who don't know, I have given it up because I've decided that it was corrosive to my psyche. And now I'm going to focus on sewing, I think. We'll see.
We will see. No, for those who don't know, she no longer styles, but if you understand that she has had like almost 90% of my wigs have come from Ariana Autumn, and now I have to find another sucker to style for me. But if you're getting into sewing, I'll call you. But one thing I will point out, the reason why you're on today is obviously we're going to be talking heavily into drag, and you've been doing drag since you were 15. That's a long, long time. I won't tell them how long it is. We never tell a girl's age.
I still look 15.
Yeah, honestly, you do.
So what's the difference?
Yeah, so really just yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. It was I started drag yesterday.
Yeah. So I'm super excited. I will say, you are one of the best, if not the best designer I know.
Thank you. I know.
Yeah. I'm gonna say hi to a few people who are in the audience. Hello, Sierra in Sept.
Oh, hi, Sierra. I love you, Sierra.
Yes, and then we also have Sarah Chasm. Hello, Sarah.
Oh, hello, Sarah. I'd like to explore your chasm.
And then Joni. Hi, Joni. How you doing,
Joni
girl?
Mitchell. Joni Mitchell?
No.
I'm kidding. Hi, Joni.
I hate you. Ariana can't see the comment, so I have to be her person who reads everything. And I'm here for every ounce of energy she's giving. And then Dana. Hello, Dana. Thank you for always joining. You are one of our regulars who come in to shake that glitter off of your tips. So thank you.
Trying to get dirty.
Let's get into it. So as always, we go over at least one to the tips of my book, Tipping is a Must, published last year. I know she's already a year old. The value's already gone. Believe it or not, one of the people who helped me with this book and come up with some things is not here today. I'm just kidding. Is Ariana Autumn herself. She sat with me in an annoying several days, hours, weeks, months, and lifetime going over some of these things, and she was like, girl, we need to do this. She is the girl I called, and I was like, why are people bringing up these conversations that they should already know?
I am her creative director that is not paid.
Of
to be
course,
a
never,
creative director.
never. Yes, you heard that. She is not paid. Call labor union. No, just kidding. Just kidding. There are several tips we could have went over today, and if you love her and want her back, bring her back because we'll go over a different tip. But the tip we're going over today is tip number 23, the etiquette side of drag. It's called reuse, renew, recycle, repurpose. When getting into drag, see how you can be resourceful in making outfits. See if there is anything someone is getting rid of that you can turn trash into treasure. And so, Ariana, obviously, when we wrote this tip, or when I did and put it in the book, and you were like, what's it's all about? We obviously know that people are always looking to do drag, and we always look for quality drag. So when you hear this tip, what comes to mind?
Well, honestly, what comes to mind is the early days of me doing drag, because this whole thing is how I got into drag, is going to thrift stores, buying clothes, cutting them apart, and making something new. And I think that doing that taught me that you can get quality at a very low price if you put the quality into it.
What are some things you remember? So when you were starting and you were going to thrift stores, and we had that low budget rating. There are times, and if people knew some of the outfits that you found at thrift stores that you still wear today, they would not imagine, because
this whole thing I'm wearing right now. Sorry, go ahead.
No. She has spoken. Can you speak about what an outfit that you were passionate about or thought about that, or even that it's a loaded question. Let's just start.
No. I like this question. You want to talk about an outfit that I got from a thrift store that I've really turned into something special?
Yeah.
All right, come to my show in Scranton, October 5th. Because I'll be wearing a jacket that I got from a thrift store and turned into at least $200.
And so, how much was the jacket originally?
Girl, I would not pay more than like $10 for any item from a thrift store. It was worn already. It was used.
Yes.
No, I'm just saying, like, I would no. Unless it's like a really, really good find. Like I found a vintage wedding gown once for $50. Mm-hmm. So I did, you know what I mean? Like certain things call for certain, and you know what? I turned that into something else beautiful and gorgeous too, that I wore at my last show in Scranton.
Was that pearl?
No. It was my Phantom of the Opera, the white Christine Daae dress.
Yes. When you are in a thrift store or when you're shopping, so I know one of the hardest things people always talk about and do is like, what do you look for? What can you find? What is some advice for those people going thrifting of what to look for, where to even go, right? Like, no, and I don't mean like what thrift store, like when you're in the store, what are you looking for? Where are you going for? What are you doing?
Okay. First things first. Basics are great. Why? Because rhinestones exist, paint exists, glitter exists. There is a million types that break a bottle and glue the glass to a jacket. Denim garments are the easiest thing to jazz up, to plus up. There are fashion empires built off of patches on denim. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that simple to plus up something. And denim is a really easy way to start. You can paint it, glitter it, stone it, and it will always look nice and intentional, because denim is universal, I think, for almost any type of embellishment that you can do on it.
Yeah. Someone in the audience asked, can you explain basics? So you said go to your basics.
Find yourself a plain jacket that fits you nice, or that even doesn't fit you nice, a nice oversized, too big jacket for you. That is, it could even be a boring color. And do you know why? Because you can buy dye to dye it whatever color you want.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a beige ass jacket that ain't nobody gonna wear, get some hot pink dye and turn that shit into something, fierce and fashionable, and then put some rhinestones on it, and all of a sudden you have an intentionally oversized fashionable garment in your wardrobe that you can use as a fabulous reveal or just as a stunting moment.
I just want to recap for the people in the audience. So basics in this level is you can find any plain Jane outfit and make it into something. It's about innovation. It's about that creativity. Like Ariana mentioned, like you can buy separate things like rhinestones and things to embellish an outfit. So when you're in a thrift store, don't get hung up on trying to find the shiniest thing.
Also, great embellishments. Thrift stores always have them. Find you a big old bag of loose old jewelry. They always have like the big old bags of jewelry for like 20 cents or something. Just get a bunch of that. Pull out all the silver jewelry, and put all the silver jewelry on a jacket. Just glue it all on there.
Now, what if somebody doesn't like have an eye for specific techniques, right? Because like there's also that thing if you did glue it all on, placement.
We live in a day where social media gives you access to everything. If you want to find it, you can. It's that simple. And it wasn't as easy because I started really young, but it rapidly became very easy for me to find anything that I wanted to know online. That's how I learned how to do hair, which yes, I'm, sort of transitioning out of that, but it definitely paid my bills and got a lot of the dolls behind me. So
For those who didn't know, the behind Ariana is her infamous doll collection. Believe it or not, she has about 5 other bookshelves that you can't see.
a lot of dolls. I added them up. I have about 500.
I love it. And if I recall, there are actually some dolls' outfits you take inspiration from, like looks and kind of.
I absolutely do. One of my favorite outfits that I ever wore, and I wore it for years until it was so stained that I couldn't wear it anymore. Is based off of a doll. Like, I think that dolls are a very cool way to encapsulate what's going on in fashion. And so I think that's what's great about like vintage dolls as well, is when you look back, you see what were the influences in real fashion back then. And I think that's what I love about, dolls now, is that it's very indicative of what's going on right now in fashion.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just giving a quick shout out. Hello, Renee. Hello,
Hi, Renee.
Xander is up and on here.
Oh.
Hello, Reed. Hello, how you doing?
Oh, hi, Reed.
Hello, Oliver. Oliver Twist is on. Hello, everyone. Quick shout outs. By the way, for those who are listening, if you have questions, comments, or compliments during the thing, please ask in part of the chat, because that is what we're here for. We're here to learn. We're here to learn about a lot. So Ariana, Ari, April,
Tracy.
Tracy. So I will say, one of the things I know that you taught me through time and time again, both through screaming at me like Joan Crawford of No Wire Hangers, but also in the same line of just being around you and always watching you and just being a sister. I've seen myself grow into drag in a different way of always thinking innovative. So are there ways in which, when you're thinking or processing or trying to design something, like how do you process that? How do you operate? How can you?
Well, for me, design is a very personal and specific thing. It's like it is so second nature to me that it's almost first nature. So that's a very loaded question. But right now I actually am doing, because I'm getting into sewing, I'm sort of returning to my roots a little bit with like reuse, repurpose, recycle, because I have a whole wardrobe of things that, let's just say, don't fit me the same anymore, because I put on some weight since I've started, performing in drag. I was 15 and I'm 20 now. So I'm not the same size, but there's a lot of clothes that I really like the pattern of, or that I really like, just there's a lot of fabric on the outfit that I could cut apart and, buy a pattern from Joann's and then use that fabric to make a whole brand new outfit. So I'm sorry, what was the question again? I know I was going somewhere with that.
No, that's okay. I was asking where your creativity stems from. Where does it come from? How do you help people get into that innovative state?
I think that even if you do not necessarily know a lot about fashion, you know what you like.
Mm.
And that's always a good place to start. Because if you like something and you pick it up, let's just say it's a jacket or a fabric from Joann's, whatever, and you style it or you try to style it and realize that doesn't work,
Mm-hmm.
or you style it and it does work. I think it's that process of trial and error is the only way that you can really figure out what works for you. And once you figure out what works for you, you can really start to branch out. And a
Mm.
perfect example of that actually is Sarah Chasm, who is watching right now. Because in the beginning, she was just all black all the time, long, straight hair. And she honed in on what she knew that she already liked.
Mm.
And she refined that. And now she's doing different hair, more
Oh.
colorful makeup, colorful outfits. She's branching out because she's gotten the basics of what she likes and what looks good on her. And so now with that information, she's able to apply creativity. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it makes me think of the transformation. So I remember when we first met back in 20, and so and so you were the girl that I know would always wear bras and a panty. I mean, obviously you wore more, but that's essentially what it was. And I remember you even started wearing your natural hair at that time, and then you elevated your wigs. And I
Yeah.
love back to your natural hair
But let me
sometimes.
tell you something. I want to pause there on that. I wore
Mhm.
bra and panties, and a lot of people called me the bra and panty girl for a long time. And they were right. And they were right. Looking back, they were totally right. But you know what? I got my bra and panty from the thrift store. I got my bra and panty from Walmart, baby. And you know what? I looked fierce while doing it. And a hot take is that, in my opinion, especially when you're starting drag does not have to be expensive. I think that learning how to perform is definitely more important. And I think that when you learn to perform, you learn who you are as a performer, and that can really inform the look.
Yeah. And well, so what I was going to say is there's an iconic look that you had, and I will never forget this because I said, girl, I know exactly what you did. You had a high waisted panty. It wasn't really high waisted. It was one of those like corseted cinchers that was in the panty. And
I
I
already know what you're
remember
talking about.
you
Yeah.
put duct tape on the hips. You
So I was there.
stoned
Yeah.
it with you stoned it with black stones from Michael's. You wore a bra that matched. You wore gloves, heels, and stockings with it. And when
Mhm.
I saw you with this look, you're like, girl, this cost me $20. But you looked so expensive.
It is, and it really is that easy. I think a lot of people get caught up on, oh, is this expensive enough? Is that going to look couture, like high fashion, whatever? Babe, just do you. You have to start somewhere. People always want to start at the top. There is absolutely no way to do that unless you are already rich, and I'm not.
Same.
But
Same.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I still wear that outfit too. Why? Because it still works. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was very into like constructing things out of duct tape at the time because I learned that hack from online. I saw somebody else make like one of those like neck corset things out of duct
Mm-hmm.
tape, and it looked great. And I was like, I want to try to do something like that. And I had like a panty girdle thing from Walmart, and I took and I created like these little like canoe shaped pieces of duct tape. I put like a bunch of layers together, hot glued fabric on top of them, hot glued stones onto them. Cheap ones from Michaels. They were plastic, and that's okay. They're fun hack. Black rhinestones are black no matter where you get them from. And I put some fringe on there, and all of a sudden I've got a 3D constructed, you know, hip panel.
Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the things that I'll highlight for you that I know of is a lot of the things that you learned yourself. Like I remember when you were starting hair or even in constructions of embellishments, like you were like, girl, I just looked it up online, and then you practiced. And I
Yeah.
think that's the one thing people don't see that about you.
No, but I think that it's something nice that everybody can learn and take away. I always say what you want to be good at in drag, you will be. And aesthetics are very important to me because fashion is very personal to me. Um, so I fully believe that the reason that I'm good at fashion is because I wanted to be.
Mm.
And it's that simple. If you want to look good in drag, you will. It's that simple. And I think that, like, if you, I think a lot this, sorry, I don't want to cut off, but that just want to branch off. They say a lot with like mental health. Like, a lot of people think that they're not a great person because they don't exhibit great qualities. But the saying goes that if you know these things about yourself and you're trying to get better, then you're already on the right path. I think that applies to drag very much. Like, if you know the look ain't there and you are trying to get the look there, the look will get there. So
Honestly,
you're already doing the work just by asking the questions.
it's true. I feel like you're one of the people, even now this day, I'll contact and go, is this a good look? Like in the sense of like where I'm trying to go with it, because what I've learned from you is I know how to articulate my concept even stronger. Because I know what I want. And I remember when we first met, my look was not there. My look was not there. My performance was. My performance
Oh
stage.
yes, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, and that's exactly why you are the person that you are, because you could always turn it on stage.
But
And
my
that's
look,
why performance is more important than look, because the look will come. But you're not going to get another booking if the performance ain't there, baby.
Right. Write that down. Write that down. All who's listening, write that down. You need to have a good thing. And I would say, we'll get into it a performance a little bit because you are one of my top performers. You're probably my top 3 best performers to ever watch, no matter what you do.
Thank you.
But I'll
Same
say
for
that.
you. You know I live for you.
Girl, I know. Girl, I know. We'll talk about that in a minute. I want to highlight these 2 questions for you.
Oh yes.
They were asked by Oliver Twist. Okay, so Oliver Twist, I believe it's a 2 questions. So let me just read them both, and then we'll dissect them. My question is: do you sketch up a physical concept before creating your piece, or does the vision stay within your head? And then the second question is, and if you do create a physical concept sheet, how close does your piece look to your vision?
Okay. I always sketch things out. I see very vivid, like what I want, I see it in my head very vividly. But seeing it on a paper makes me know exactly how I want the silhouette to flare out, how exactly it should, drape where. And depending on who I'm working with, my stuff usually comes out pretty close to the sketch. And why? Because I'm neurotic. I'm a perfectionist and I sort of refuse to let things look not the way that I intended. So I do my best for things to look as close to the sketch as possible.
I love that. And shout out to you from Sedusa. Yes, she does some puss sketches. I have a couple of them. I also have a couple of them. I've sat there when you sketch stuff out. You are so cute. You're adorable. I love it. You're like, shh, I'm doing something.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a bad bitch. I'm not adorable.
Sorry. She looks real cuntalicious.
Thanks, girl. Thanks.
When she's sketching. Yeah. Cute delicious. No. Can you get me on this stream?
Yeah, with you.
No, thank you for this question, Oliver. Hopefully that answers your question. When it comes to sketching and designing, one of the things that I've noticed about you is just have a concept. You don't have to be a good sketcher, right? And I'll never forget about my taco dress, which is the joke of the Metapod outfit that I sketched. And I sketched this outfit. And Ariana's like, what does this look like? And I was like, I want it to look like this and like a poncho and type thing. And on my side, it looked like an upside down taco with a skirt. And then Ariana sketches it and it looks exactly the way it needs to on paper. And so hire a designer, right? Like hire somebody.
If you yeah, I do think there are a lot of like queer people that are really good at drawing, that are really good at art. Sedusa, she can draw stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I think if you have a concept and you just need a better vision of it, because my fiance is very much like that. Hi, shout out to John. He's not watching, because he's working, but he sees the vision in his head, but he's not so great with getting it on paper. So we work together on getting it on paper, and seeing it on paper helps him a lot with like deciding what fabrics he wants, what colors he wants to do it with. You know what I mean? So I think that collaborating with an artist, pay him $25 and move on with, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's
and at least get a proper vision of what you're going for.
Yes. And when it comes to, so I know one of the things that you mention all the time is accessorizing. So like, what are good things to keep in mind when you're accessorizing? That's like glasses, handbags, jewelry, shoes.
Okay. Accessorizing. If we're talking about thrifting, reduce, reuse, repurpose. When I started like buying things for drag, I looked for staples, and the staples I looked for were pearls. Pearls can be used for 20s outfits, 30s, 40s, like anything vintage, 50s. Do you know what I mean? Like it branches several decades, just having one or two pearl necklaces and some bracelets to match and a ring. A whole set of jewelry goes a long way as well. And pearls are particularly easy to match because you don't need to buy a matching set. You can just buy separate items and put them together. Glass beads from like the 60s, like plastic enamel, chunky, colorful jewelry. For an easy 60s look, you buy a simple dress and put the right jewelry on with it. It can really take it to a different level. So I think accessorizing is really important. I take that inspiration specifically. That is something that I take from dolls a lot, because dolls come with the perfect outfit, but they always come with the perfect accessories to match the outfit. The shoes match the handbag, the bracelet matches the, necklace. Everything is just so. And I think that, it's actually easier to achieve that when than one might think, especially in thrift stores when you have a little bit of everything right in front of you.
I have to agree with that for when you talk about, because accessorizing, one of the things I remember when I found the 60s inspired dress in a thrift store, and when we added a white belt, some white thigh highs that I already had. I think I borrowed your wig, which I still have hanging up,
which
over
is
there.
Your wig now. Yep.
Yeah, which is the white bob.
And that is a white Party City bob, honey. That is.
Oh yeah, nothing special.
Right.
Special.
It really is that easy though. Like you said, some jewelry, a belt, boots, and like the right wig can take a simple dress to a very different place.
And so when it comes to functioning, right? So a lot of times, many looks that
Sorry, you're sort of cutting out a little bit.
Oh.
You might have to say that again.
So I know you're when I think about performance, what
You are very glitchy right now. I really can't hear what you're saying, girl. Are you there? Tracy. Oh. Well, hello. I don't know where Trixie went. I don't know if I'm still live or not. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's the Ariana show now. Is that am I really the only one on here? Somebody comment. Like, am I the only one on here now? Oh, word. I'm the only one on here. Okay. So, okay. But comments. What's my favorite doll? Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, hi. What's my favorite doll? There are so many behind me. Right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this one because I've decided that this one's my favorite right now. This is a restyled one. She looks very like 80s. She looks like an extra from Scream Queens, and I like that. Um, so she's like my favorite right now. I don't know where Trixie's at, so I guess this is now a doll blog thing. I'm just kidding. But no, she's really fierce right now. I love this like big poofy dress. The 80s are coming back hard. Thank you, Chapel Roan, for contributing to that. Also, if you're looking for any hot fashion tips, the 80s are back. The 80s are back. More is more. And that's it. More is more. Put rhinestones on your outfit, put fringe on everything. And thank you. Thank you for saying she's so cute, Sarah. Put more on your outfit, more ruffles, more big hair, more all of it. All right. Come on a journey with me until I get a hold of Trixie. We're talking about reduce, reuse, you know, all that jazz and drag. I can talk about it, or I can show you, because I'm a big fan of that. I think it's very easy to find something very simple and turn it into something else. I have this skirt here. It's a denim skirt that I bought from a thrift store. I painted my face on it. I glued some rhinestones to it to make it look like I'm wearing jewelry. I put some red A's on it because the scarlet letter is a little bit of my thing. And then I glued some fabric to it. Make it glam, babe. One of my favorite outfits that I have is just a pair of shorts and a jacket that I thrifted. Put some patches on. This sleeve has like Mario character, Pokemon. The sleeve has Mario characters. And I put some fringes on the back. And it has a matching pair of shorts to go with it. Hey, you're back, Trixie! She's here, everybody!
Oh God, now I don't have volume.
Yes! What? She's back. Oh my God. Hi, girl.
Can you hear me? Shake your head nod your head if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay, I can't hear you. This, of course. Thank you all for staying on. I saw you entertaining them. Hold on. I'm still logging in. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great, sweetie.
Okay. Hedwig and the Angry Inch, one of my favorite musicals. Guess what? She wears a denim one piece in the show. And so I bought a denim one piece and I painted it. And I can't get it into the camera. And rhinestoned it to look like the one from the show. Ballin' on a budget is always cute. And I'll give you a little look at the outfit that I'm wearing at our show in October. This lovely little moment here. It's got lots of rhinestones, lots of blood painted on it, teddy bears.
I love that we're going through your closet right now.
Well, listen, I didn't know what else to do, and I was like, you know what? I could just show them what it looks like to actually, you know what I mean? Reduce, reuse, up your shit. Like, all right, I'm gonna go back to my doll room.
I'm here for it. I'm not against it. I'm going to quickly log into my. That's okay. I'm going to quickly log into my phone so that way I'm just going to use before I lose connection again.
Hold on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you. Oh, now it's going to echo.
That's okay. That's okay.
There we go. All right, y'all. Well, you're now on my phone. Hello, welcome. So sorry for
You've always been on my phone, guys. Oh, better look at the doll room here.
testicle difficulties. Honestly, we
It's
could have just showed
expensive.
our
It never ends. Okay. And
I
we're back.
absolutely.
We're back in the game, kids.
We are back in the game. We are back to glitter on my tips. So sorry. I don't know why my Wi-Fi is just fine. So I don't know why the connection's
Girl,
terrible.
shit
But
happen all the time, girl.
we definitely hear. Here, if anyone who didn't believe me, up there, these are all my wigs that she's made.
You're welcome.
And like that's just the first layer. There's like there's like another row right behind it.
And listen, y'all, watching this, they're like Birkin bags. They're only going to appreciate in value because I'm done.
It's true. She's done. She's done. Anyway, and he said, I wanted to just say you're a doll. No pun intended.
You're a doll.
Oh yes, we were just talking about drag and all that stuff and fun stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to get now to what is your who is your idol? Who are people you look up to?
Okay. So I think this is part of like just fashion inspiration because I tend to take inspiration from everything, everywhere, all the time. I don't have a lot of people that I would consider like an idol who I think there are some people that I think that their work has profoundly affected me. And though I will say Tim Burton, Rob Marshall, Colleen Atwood.
Okay.
And Andrew Lloyd Webber.
I love that.
I'm very inspired by theater and like cinema and television. I think because I'm really interested and attracted to the way that an outfit can tell you so much about who a character is and the thought and the detail that goes into designing those outfits. So that's why Colleen Atwood. I think I always view everything through a little bit more of a twisted lens. So, Tim Burton is, not the most inclusive, but he is definitely a source of inspiration for me. And Rob Marshall, I love musicals. I love movie musicals. And I love Phantom of the Opera. I really love Phantom of the Opera.
You do. You love Phantom of the Opera. You love it.
Fun fact about Aria, I used to like watch it every day. Not the movie because it's terrible. The 25th anniversary version with Sierra Baguess.
Yes. Oh, quick shout out. Hello, Amanda. Amanda is one of our regulars who's been here since episode 1.
Hi, Amanda.
For those who don't know, we have about 20 minutes left of this beautiful podcast episode today. You've had a very interesting time since you actually got to tour the beautiful home drag closet of Ariana. if you have any questions or anything you want to put in the chat now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
No, Ariana, my last real question I have for you is while we think about drag, fashion, all these other things, you have the skills to literally do almost anything in drag because you literally believe in all the work that you do. You're probably one of the most positive people in the sense of like having skill-based knowledge and one of the most positive people of like just do it, right? Like Nike said.
And let's talk about that because you say I have the skills and everything. I'm not technically trained in anything. I
Nope.
ain't go to school. I ain't like girl. Everything I know, I just learned myself. I taught myself. The internet taught me. I picked up from you know what I mean, people along the way. I think that you can learn a lot about the world from the world around you. You know what I mean? And I think you can learn a lot about drag from the drag around you. And that you know I think that like learning things from people that maybe necessarily aren't like you is not a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I am glad that you mentioned that because it's one of the reasons why I don't look up you just because you're my best Judy. I look up to you because you are a person that has proven that. And I wanted to ask the question what form of inspiration or power you can give other people because you have been a drag mother or are a drag mother. You have helped multiple people, including myself, advance their drag and elevate it. Like, what is something you hope people, if someone's going to get into drag, because we see it all the time, and I know we talk about it all the time, what is the piece of advice you would give someone?
Drag is very much an industry right now from a lot of different standpoints. I think that there should always be space in drag for self-expression. There should always be room for real human emotion. And if you're going to start drag, do you. First of like I'll do don't do what nobody else is like telling you. I'll just focus on what you're doing. Drag is so saturated. There's so much drag. There's drag queens are born every 5 minutes. Bring something original to the table. Because, in a day and age where everything is accessible to you, everything's at our fingertips, you can become polished and excel pretty quickly. But if you're just like everybody else, you're gonna fade into the noise. So do you.
I love that. And it brings me to the conversation I think you and I have so frequently, which is you have to have that authentic skill about yourself
Yeah.
and capitalize on it.
Yes. Everybody is born with some sort of advantage, whether it's, wealth, connections, you know what I mean? The way that your mind works, you're, artistically, skilled. Life and drag is all about capitalizing on what your positives are. Don't focus on what your negatives are.
I want to say a good positive that I know I've had experience with you was when I competed for Miss Gay Pennsylvania for the first year, and it was a whole letdown for me when I did my prelim. Like I did not place; I placed 4th out of 5th, and for the prelim. And when I went to states after being called a wild card, this is sort of where I remember I called you. I was like, I don't know what to do, and we sat down, and I remember I just told you I was like, you know what, I want to do Pokemon. I want to do what I love. I want to do the look that I want. I don't want to do what everyone else already told me to do and thinks I should do. And what happened? We sat down and we created that whole thing. And I placed top 5 that year. And I remember the reason why it's so iconic is because everything you're talking about right now evolves around that idea of
It takes us right back to that time where we weren't really that polished. Actually, that was sort of the moment that really forced us to really push our shit forward and step it up. Like that's real tea that you're talking about like that. And I think that just to touch on it, competition never hurt anybody. Competition sometimes forces the best out of you. That year, you really kicked your shit into high gear. That's when you started putting your look to work, honey. Like you said, oh, I can look good. And then you started to put the work in to really go for it. And I like that's what competition definitely did for me as well. When I competed the year after with you, that was a big thing for me to be like, oh wow, like oh yeah, having like a rhinestoned gown and big hair actually does make a difference. um get you a gown, put some rhinestones on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's another tip. Doesn't have to be an expensive gown either.
No placement though. Look up some good patterns. Like if you're not sure where to
Yes.
place it.
If you're not sure where to put them, yeah, look up some tutorials. I'm sure there's like a million out there.
I I also want to highlight, as we have about 10-ish more minutes, um, the sediment of innovation is literally about having confidence in what you're bringing, because there is times when I'm like, this looks like shit, and then you wear it, and then how you're wearing it, how you're presenting it, how you're making it, ain't nobody else makes it look like shit because you're so confident in what it is. Now, there is such thing as being like having something that kind of looks ugly or unflattering, but honestly, it doesn't matter because those moments can also be iconic. Like you wore that ugly, well, you've never worn an ugly gown, but in the sense of like, I know there's pieces I'm like, it's not my favorite. And then I worn it and I'm like, oh, I wear it well. And it doesn't matter if it's ugly to
Yeah,
others.
well, let's be real. Like, some clothes are objectively ugly, and I'm sure I own a few pieces of clothes that are objectively ugly. But I think that styling is a big thing. I think that how you wear the confidence, like you said, is a big thing. Like, if you find an ugly ass fucking skirt, but you really like it, put that shit with a cute outfit and wear it like you the one. And guess what? People are gonna be like, oh my god, what is with that ugly skirt? She's serving. Like they're just gonna be like, oh my god, she's serving in that ugly skirt. Like, yes, the skirt will still be ugly, but they'll be like, she is serving in that ugly skirt.
Right. And it was my mom's. It was from the 80s.
That was the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen. Thank you for that. I love movie references.
So, sort of to recap, take inspiration from what you know. If you don't know something, look it up. Look
Look it
it
up.
up and try it. Everyone's a beginner at some point in time.
Yep.
And I also want to highlight something that you mentioned, which we've hinted at other episodes, but I think this is the first time we're kind of calling out. Drag is saturated right now. Drag is very, very much everyone thinks they can do drag, and I don't like saying it that way, but for this purposes, I will. And because what we're saying is if you want to do drag, that's fine, but don't be the carbon copy of what you see on the Cracker Jack box, right? Like what you see on the
Yeah.
TV. You
Do
bring it.
if you are looking at girls on Instagram
Mm,
and screenshotting them and sending designers pictures of them going, make me this. That's how you know that you are not an original diva. Start with original concepts always. And then, mind you, let me tell you something. I love classic silhouettes, and a good bodysuit is a go-to.
mm.
You know what I mean? But make the bodysuit say something about you.
It's true. The looks people remember me are the iconic ones that I did myself, or the ones that I like. My Devil Went Down in Georgia number, iconic. My Kill
Yeah.
Bill, iconic. Butterfree, iconic.
And those were
Uh,
all very personality driven, very
yeah.
what makes you you. And I told her this a long time, and I'm glad she does it more. Is she's a nerd, and seeing that in her drag makes me happy, and it makes other people happy because that's who she is, and like that's what drag is about to me. Is showing who you really are. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like don't don't be like, oh, I just want to look like like a hot pretty girl. Girl, you're so much more than a hot pretty girl. Honestly, be a hot pretty girl with like a sense of fashion and a favorite color. Be Raja O'Hara.
I definitely stick to good colors because I think I have so much red and pink in this
If it looks
wardrobe.
good, it looks good. I love red girl and I wear a lot of it. So
Um, so I absolutely just I love that. Like the concept behind of pushing
I don't even call it new drag people, just all drag people, to pushing yourself to continually be innovative. Because one thing that I definitely know is when I see like something that's common, I need to know how it's going to be different. And then that goes back to what you had mentioned, which is a good performer. Because you can wear the same thing someone else did, but if you cannot perform in it or have that also takes away from it all. And I know you are one of the most iconic performers who changes it up. You are a person I've seen do numbers over and over again, like body talks. And
I
the only thing I'll say is I love it every single time. I'll joke and say I've seen it 113,000 times, but every time you do it, I love it because it's you. Like you are bringing
yeah.
you to the stage. You're not
Also,
bringing the like. I don't see anyone else doing it the way you do it, or vice versa. I don't see you. You may take inspiration, but like I love when I see you do both newer things and older things. But you just bring such an organic authenticity to your drag in your performance style, and your fashion advances that, it accelerates it, and that's I think what it's supposed to do.
yeah, that's definitely what it should. I think you should know who the character is. I think you should know what you want the character to convey. And I think that the look is a really big part of conveying a character, and drag is all visual, really. So, all we have is what we're looking at. So it might as well be something nice to look at. Um, but I think also just like shout out to our girl Chapel Roan is also a really good example of this. Like she's very much a drag queen in that she loves rhinestones, big hair, big makeup, and that is not wholly original. But the outfits that she wears, they tell you something about who she is.
Mm.
And
Tell
I
a story.
like and because the music is good, but like she literally is a drag queen, so the look is important.
Right. I do want to. I think a person that's coming up for me that's fairly new to the drag scene, and that I'm enjoying them embracing and seeing them push themselves differently is insects.
Hmm.
Um,
Definitely.
because they had like sort of like Sarah, they had a shtick, right? That shtick was for them is bugs, insects,
Mm.
and um, getting into it, getting your feet wet. And now I'm talking to them and seeing where their inspiration goes with new creative characters, with new looks, and like branching out beyond than just what they're seeing on Instagram. Like there's so many times like I think I share different looks that insects happen, and I'm like, here you go. And like we talk all the time. And so I won't give some of the stuff they're working on right now, but I know I can see their originality. And to me, like that originality is going to take them further than people who might be just wearing a basic updo in something they got off
Mm.
of like our standard as drag closets, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing,
No,
but at
no.
least
I
like
believe in staples, and I
yeah,
believe that having a gown is great and having, go-tos are important. But I also
but to,
completely understand what you're saying
yeah.
because I think
Mhm.
insects is a perfect example of what you're talking about and what we've been talking about, during this thing is that originality can go a very long way, and it does not matter if you're the most busted drag queen in the cast. She's not. I'm just saying that but if you're wearing something more different and unique than what everybody else is wearing, everybody is going to be looking at you. They can't help it. They won't be able
It's
to
very
help it. And so I think that having a brand and knowing exactly like who the character is going in, and like I said before, once you get the basics down, that really gives you permission and artistic license to just sort of branch off wherever you want to.
yeah.
Um, once you know that you'll
Yeah,
you'll know, you
no,
know.
I definitely agree. Because I think one of my best innovative recent looks is when I did my Pride look this year, which is what I competed for Lancaster Pride as well. My gladiator look with my 3D printed shield,
That is a
sword,
yeah,
stone.
perfect example of reduce reuse. Do you know what I mean? Like you had a front
Mhm.
3D printed thing for you, so that was something new. But like it was, I love drag that's locally grown.
Mm.
I love organic, homegrown drag. I don't care if you're wearing a Jeffrey Kelly. I don't care if you're wearing something that some drag race girl wore. That is not important to me. And let's be real, anybody that has any like vision or taste, that's not important to them either. Like what's important is what they're looking at. And if it's right, it's right. And so I love organic homegrown drag. I love that outfit. You said I'm gonna take a simple outfit, put the rhinestones on it to turn it into to make it work with the theme that I'm doing, and then you have the accessories to go with it. Like I think I think a concept goes a long way. I think originality goes a long way. It just does. It just makes you stand out immediately. Again, you could be the most busted person on stage. It doesn't matter because people are going to be looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been the most
Mm-hmm.
busted person on stage. I know I'm glamorous and gorgeous now, but let's be real. Let's be 100%. We've all been a busted bitch before. So,
Yeah, we won't ever bring up those pictures. And if you find them, burn them.
oh my gosh, I will never get over that. Whenever I find the one from me, at like my second show ever, and I have like a black forehead and my real hair is in pigtails, and I look like a cracked out. I look like Cynthia from the Rugrats in that episode where she goes through the sewer. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes, yes,
That's
I
what I look
do.
like. I look like that when she goes through the sewer. That was me.
Yeah. That'd be pretty dumb. All right, y'all. If you don't have any more questions, compliments, or things for Ariana, that is okay. Sarah said, great episode. Lots of hearts, lots of love. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you so much.
Ariana,
Yeah.
before I take the last word, are there anything else you want to leave the audience with?
Fight more people online and in public.
Oh, fucking amen. 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 My last thing that I'm taking away from this episode that's resonating with me is don't be afraid to do the thing you love. And I will apply it to every nerdy, geeky thing that I think someone would judge me for has gotten me further than trying to do what I think people want.
100%.
So with that, everyone, sorry, Anya, I saw it. Did you want to add?
No, I completely agree. Authenticity is, reduce, reuse, recycle, make drag. You can make drag from anything. You can make glamour out of anything. And if you're going to make something out of nothing, at least make it organic and authentic to you.
All right, y'all. Thank you for the mishap on the technology of dealing with it. I knew my best Judy would do it, and she did. Thank you all for being here on episode 15 on Glitter on My Tips. Ariana, you have to show me here on camera. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, I'm glitter on my tips.
This is the one and only podcast that specifically highlights the leadership, business, and professional side of drag. I am your host, Trixie Valentine. Thank you all for being here. Woo, woo, woo. And Ariana, thank you for being here.
Thank you, sister. Bye.